Welcome back. We can have a collection of collections. Let's start with a list of lists. So let's have our matrix here, our variable, which is a list of lists. Here is the outer list, and the elements inside are lists. So we have our first list here, 1, 2, 3, and another element here, which is a list also, 4, 5, 6, and another list, which is a third list between our square brackets. Let's have 7, 8, and 9. Here is a list of lists. Let's extract our desired item. So let's extract here this 3. We write print matrix and have between our square brackets the index of this list. This list has an index 0. Another square bracket here with the index of the element inside the list. The index of this element is, let's count it, this index is 0, 1, 2, so the index here is 2. And let's print it here. Yes, 3 is printed. If we need this 5, okay, instead of this 0, we have this list of index 0, this list index 1, so we have here a 1, and having this 5 is 0, 1. Let's print. Yes, it gives the expected 5. Let's have a list of tuple. So let's have this as a comment now. Our list of tuples here is called points. And therefore we have the square brackets for the list, inside it curved brackets for our first tuple, say 1, 2. Let's have 2 other tuples. And let's try to print this 50. Let's print here our points and 2 square brackets. The first one having the index of the tuple, which is 0, 1, 2, which is 2 now. The second one having the index of this 50 inside the tuple, which is 0. And let's have our run here. Yes, it prints the expected 50. Now let's have another collection of collections. Let's have a dictionary of lists. So we have our dictionary grades equals the curly brackets for dictionary. And let's have the first key to be Alice, the student Alice, our colon for the values, and here our values is a list of degrees. So let's have 85, 90, and 100. For another item, let's have a comma and add one other student, say Bob, with his list of grades. 78, 80, 59, 80 here. Let's print an item here. So let's have our grades and have our 2 square brackets. The first one carrying the key, let's say Alice. And the second square item carries the index of this 85, which is a 0. And let's have our print. It gives 85. To get this 100, say, we have the index 2. Yes, here we have our 100. Let's now have a dictionary of dictionaries. Let's have students equals our outer dictionary, our key Alice. This is the first student, and the values are a dictionary. So let's have our first value, which is a dictionary of subject and grade. So let's have math, and it's grade 80, a comma, science, between quotations, the value is written after a colon, 90. This is a dictionary of dictionaries. Let's go to the other item here. Another student, between quotations, let's say Bob. And let's have our colon here for the values, which are in the form of another dictionary here. And the first item in this secondary dictionary is our math, of course, the same subject. Math, not necessarily. Our colon for the value, 85. Let's have a comma for another item in this secondary dictionary. And let's say the key is science. Colon to have the value, say 95. To print any element, we simply print our variable students. Let's have our first square bracket for our first key, say Alice, and the second square bracket for the key of the inner dictionary. So we have here the square brackets, say math. And of course, math must be between quotations. It's a string. And let's have our run. Yes, Alice scored 80 in math, and so on. For Bob, the math score is 85. Yes. Let's have a set of tuples now. Our set of tuples here is coordinates, and let's have the curved brackets for our set. First tuple with curved brackets, and let's say 1, 2. Having another tuple here, we have a comma, say 3, 4. And let's have a third tuple of the coordinates 6, 8. Please note that sets are unordered, and therefore we cannot check for any item using index or indices, but we can use the membership operator in. We can check here if the tuple 3, 4 is in coordinates. And let's have a print in the very beginning here. And print, of course, must be between brackets. We expect a boolean. Yes, it is true. 3, 4 is a tuple inside the set coordinates. But if we check for 3, 8, say, we expect a false because it doesn't exist in the set coordinates. Now we note finally that we can't have a set of lists because sets are unordered. Lists cannot be dictionary keys, which means using a dictionary of lists, we can have a list of values, but we can't have a list of keys. This concludes with our collection of collections. We studied list of lists, list of tuples, dictionary of lists, dictionary of dictionaries, and finally a set of tuples.